Jeff Tuvey leading the visitors out onto Marathon. They were 12-point losers to the Eels last week. Their 5th loss in their last 6 outings. They have just 1 win away from home in 2000. That was against the Dragons in round 17. Here's the lineup today for the Eagles. King at the back, Reeves, Torrens, Roy, Frew, Orford and Taylor the halves, Stringer, Tuvey, Trindle, Derdovic, Muir and Menzies. Couple of changes on the bench. You'll see there 18. Penny comes in as well as number 20, Wilson, for 2 Joels. Tony Butterfield leading the Newcastle Knights out onto their favourite track at Marathon. At the back, it's Adam McDougall. The wingers are Tahu and Beckett. Centres Gidley and Hughes. Ruddock is still there for the injured Matthew Johns. Andrew Johns in the 7 jersey. Butterfield, Badiris, O'Brien, Fairley, Simpson and Peden. Warren Ryan is the coach. Tony Archer is in control. The video referee is Chris Ward.
Wait for it.
Round 20 action underway. The local derby. In round 1, these two sides met at Gosford. On that occasion, the Eagles upset the Knights 24-14. There'll be no love lost up front early on, as it's the Knights trying to run it out of their own territory, about 28 metres out from the line. Out wide, it's Johns, and through their hands they go very early on. And that's a good run from Rudder. Got the ball back on the inside with the support as well, so a couple of early holes there opening up.
It's a little worrying sign there for the Northern Eagles. They've made something like 70 metres already with Andrew Johns going to the line off the Gidley. So Mark Hughes, I should say.
So a dummy half now. It's Johns. They keep working to the short side. Hughes dummying. Needed support on the inside, but Adam Muir was there blocking the pass. So he took the tackle, and now it's Johns. This is a great opening set by the Newcastle Knights. A good kick by Johns as well. The chase is good. It's on the ground. Who wants it? It's a real scramble there. He's going to go upstairs to check with the video referee.
Check the onside, just see, and the grounding. Yep.
While he's checking the grounding, he's checking whether they're onside or not. But what about the opening set by the Knights?
Fantastic opening set. They went wide. I think they want to stretch the Northern Eagles. They want to push the ball wide. What about Johns on this attempt, this bomb? He had all the time in the world to put the kick up. It was an amazing kick. Plenty of timers. We see the Newcastle Knights. They haven't gone all the way back to halfway. But look, Johns, all the time in the world to put this kick up. No pressure whatsoever. All the runners on side. Well, it looks that way anyway from that angle. Now, there's a touch. Unfortunately, the goalpost has robbed us of some vision, but to me it looks like it could be one.
I think the crowd has let you know. They want a green light there. It's touched in flight. I think they were looking to see if Tamana Tahu on that right-hand side actually had touched the ball, but he gets it down fair and square. Adam McDougall.
Well, the grounding is okay from McDougall. The question is, did Tahu get a touch to it in the mad scramble?
This will require frame by frame watching. Well, I think you'll see that the Newcastle Knights, yeah, they have started strongly, haven't they? Moved the football inside the 6 tackles, down inside the 20-metre area, and the Northern Eagles, always under pressure from the first set of 6, doesn't hold them in good stead for the rest of the game.
Another look at it here. Did it touch Tahu's hand there? That's the key.
I don't think it did. I think Andrew Frew was the man who came over and hit it with his right hand. I think that's play on. There it is. And watch him go down there. Andrew Frew has touched that ball. I think that's play on. And a good decision here. Video referee getting a little bit of a razz there from the crowd saying, we want to see the green light.
Yes, we've had enough of the video referee. Make a decision. Let's get on with the game.
So decision time. An anxious wait for the players, the fans, and for everybody at home. Red or green? No try! He has spotted a knock on in there. I can only suggest that it has come off Tahu's hand. A let off for the Eagles.
Video referee spot on the money. Former referee Chris Ward. Might have to have his eyes checked. 20/20 vision there.
So now the first touch for the Eagles, and Muir got it back to Roy. Crowd thought it was forward. It's a flat pass. Tuvey looking for runners, and he finds Stringer. Fairly over the top, and O'Brien underneath. Tuvey working to the short side. And a big tackle coming in there from his New South Wales teammate, Andrew Johns. Back to Taylor. The chase was a good one on Taylor, but he's still got the kick away. He'll go down to McDougall. He'll pick it up and start to run out of his own 20. Taken there by Durdovic initially. Butterfield looked for a runner. There's nobody there, so he had to take the tackle. He'll play it on the 30. Newcastle territory. O'Brien. Fairley this time, taking them on. David Fairley is the second top offloader in the competition. The best is Adam Muir, the former Newcastle Knight, playing for the Eagles today. And the Knights continue to keep the ball moving. This is Beckett. Scored 2 tries against the Raiders in Canberra last Sunday. Vidiris, Johns just nudging this one down into the corner, and a perfect bounce, bouncing just before the chalk.
Andrew Johns, I think, just has to see all the players there from the Northern Eagles all rushing in on him. 3 players trying to put the pressure on. A great kick. Just half a metre inside the touchline. Andrew Johns may look. Russell Fairfax are running their ball that last tackle if they keep running up out of line like that.
There wouldn't be a blade of grass he doesn't know here by first name at Marathon Stadium, so no surprise for me that Andrew Johns can do that with the football.
Well, now it's Torrens. Running it out of their own 20. That's the fullback, Andrew King. And then the 2 Knights defenders, though, Gidley and also O'Brien. Now it's Stringer. Taking a bit of stopping. Centre of the park. Muir against his old teammates. 5 or 6 metres from halfway. It's Trindle. So important for the front rowers and this Eagles side to get the go forward. Trindle and Stringer. There's the kick. And the bounce is a good one for McDougall. Menzies is there. McDougall runs away from him and also Taylor, but then he ran into Durdovic. Beckett charging onto it. Can't find a way through. Stringer and Tuvey there. Now it's O'Brien. 5 from halfway. 0-0 the score. Johns stepping, probing. Needed support. It wasn't there. Still a couple of tackles remaining. Vidiris back to Johns. Fires out. A pass that's been intercepted by Orford. Has he got the pace to get away? Matty Orford. The chase is on and they're going to pull him down. Are they? Yes, but he pops it out the back door and it's still there for the Eagles. Desperate defence by the Knights. They're still on the rack. They go wide and this is a big crunching tackle coming in there from Hughes on Taylor. To the short side they go. The kick ahead. The bounce is a good one for Roy and it's going to be the Eagles that will score the first try. 4 points to 0. Great thinking by Menzies with the kick, and Nigel Roy was there, got the perfect bounce. They were on the rack, the Knights, after the intercept, and so they lead 4 points to 0, Gary.
Yeah, it's just a little long ball here by Andrew Johns. Saw that they were going out wide, but Matt Orford got himself in a great position between Fairley. He races to the line. We all thought he was going to score the try for him. He's out Tahu. Magnificent tackle. Just watch him turn the body over. He tried to put the ball down, got it back in time. Frew come from nowhere to steal it. There was a great tackle by Hughes just previous to that, but Menzies known there's nobody at home. Got the kick through, and Nigel Roy will go and score the try.
Taylor, 250th first grade game today, and he's only 3 points behind another milestone, moving up the ladder a place. That's the all-time point scoring ladder. So Taylor needs to swing it around. Oh, came around brilliantly for him. So it's 6 points to 0. The Eagles over the Knights, the local derby at Marathon.
Well, that's a great kick, isn't it? People know blades of grass in different parts of the world and football fields. God knows how to get them through the middle. Here's a kick off from the Newcastle Knights. Well, if that's the wake-up call they will need now, start trying to put some pressure on the Northern Eagles.
Waiting for it, dummy half is Tuvey. Looking for runners and finding big Paul Stringer. This is Taylor. King up from fullback. Can't get away from the tackle of Johns. To the short side now, it's Muir. He's about 12 from halfway. Brendan Reeves. Tuvey. Taylor. Plenty of time to get the kick in, looking for some open spaces, but he's going to send it right down the throat of Tamata Tahu. This is Gidley.
Start of the game, the North Eagles, they open up very easily on this left-hand side. Interesting to see Andrew Johns. They'll probably take one more to the centre of the field, and then he'll go wide straight again.
Yeah, it's taken the Knights 3 plays to get themselves set up for this kick. This is number 4, and all they've been is single hit-ups, hit-ups, hit-ups. They're not very well organised. Johns has got to take a bigger role. He has the ball now.
Rudder through the dummy. They didn't fall for it, though. Good defence by the Eagles. 31 metres out from the line on the final tackle, and the second bomb in the match for Johns, but this is not a good one, and it's going to beat everybody over the dead ball line. So we'll come back to the 24 a restart. 6 points to 0, the Northern Eagles over the Newcastle Knights. The Knights denied a try in the opening minute by the video referee. He spotted a knock on. Tackle one there for Trindle. Now Muir. Right into Butterfield. Out the back door, and they just stand there for a while and look at it. Eventually, Taylor dived upon it just before Steve Simpson arrived. Stringer. 20 from halfway.
It's a hard man to put down.
Tuvey. It's Orford turning it back on the inside. 10 from halfway. Derdovic plays it. Back it goes to Taylor. He steps Butterfield. Steps another one. King. Across it goes to Orford. And waiting for it back there is Tamata Tahu. 12 tries for the Knights. The Newcastle leading try scorer. Orford only his 5th first-grade game. Making the most of his opportunities for the Eagles. Now it's McDougall. O'Brien straight ahead, loses the ball. A good tackle over the top. It was Muir underneath. It was Stringer. They forced the mistake.
Interesting, Clinton O'Brien there. Knew that hit up. After he gets tackled here, Adam Muir over the top. Very good tackle. He loses the ball. He was coming straight from the field, so he was going to be replaced. So after the scrum, watch him come straight away and be replaced.
Taylor for the Eagles, and now Orford. 40 metres out from the line. Good field position for them to start another attacking raid. Trindle. Paul Rahahi waiting to come on. Billy Peden has been asked to go to the blood bin. That's the hold up in the match. Gash to the left eye for Peden. 14 is on there. Owen Cunningham, 271st game, 14th all time as far as first-grade appearances go. Menzies out wide. He will play it. Muir. Back to Menzies, standing. Then he popped it out the back door, and, well, they've coughed it up. No real need to pass. It wasn't a good one. It went to ground, and the Knights were there. Penalty. He's got Adam Muir for being inside the 10 metres. Johns finds touch right on the halfway mark. They're down by 6 at the moment, the Knights, and this is Butterfield. Got rid of Cunningham, but the others held on. A fresh man from the bench. Rahahi. Badiris waiting for it at dummy half. Rudder. Wide they go. Gidley. Can't shake off Orford. 21 metres out. David Fairley. One-handed pass. Rahahi. He takes them on to the centre of the park. Wrapped up ball and all, just as he was about to pass. Now it's Johns. And a rudder, and wide they go again. Tahu. About 5 metres out from the line. They're looking for their first points, the Knights. There's the kick from Johns into the in goal, and it's been picked up by Adam McDougall, and that is the first try. Johns put it on a string for McDougall. Kick to come from right in front. That should lock it all up.
Well, he was denied one earlier on in the match. It's great work there by Andrew Johns, getting nice and wide on that left-hand side. This is the handover. Good tackle by Lenny Beckett, nice and low. They are claiming a knock on here, the Northern Eagles players. You can see that Adam Muir blowing up, saying, listen, he had knocked the ball on, but look how nice and wide. That good pass by Gidley. Gets the ball in. Adam McDougall, way onside, too much pace. Just got in between Steve Menzies and the fullback King. Gets a nice 4-pointer for the Newcastle Knights.
Intelligent play by the Newcastle Knights. They really stretched the defence, so they had to stretch the defensive line of the Northern Eagles. Plenty of room for the players to get through, and that's what McDougall did. He just came through, picked up a ball, had been dribbled behind the line. There was no cover. Easy stuff for a State of Origin player like that man.
It was converted from right in front by this man, Andrew Johns, so it's 6-all, 13th minute. That was his 14th try assist for the season, Andrew Johns. He's not creating them, he's scoring them. Taylor with the restart. And here's the skipper.
Tell you what, he brought his boots here today to play footy. He's made some very good yards early opening stages of this game. First hit up of the day, I think he made around about 25 metres.
Well, they waited for him to get to the defensive line. They didn't move up. An easy 10, 12 metres for Rahihi. The inside pass on that occasion for Steve Simpson. To the short side they go. Rudder. Got the pass away, Badiris. Johns running onto it and stepping. Got the pass back on the inside. It came off the legs of Badiris, but straight into the arms of one of the Eagles players. And it was Nigel Roy who played it. Now it's Menzies. Stepping, standing, getting it back to Orford. That's the halfway. Over on the far side, Andrew Frew. He's got some pace. Tamana Tahu just managed to slow him down, and then he lost it. No, it's play on. Well, I can only suggest that the referee thought it was raked out by the opposition.
And one of the Newcastle players hit the ball and popped out the back door and play on to the referee. As they go nice and wide now. Oh, that's a very good tackle there.
Here it is. Geez, they change the ruling every week, don't they? Okay, so Newcastle guy knocked it, but it did come back towards him and go forward, so it's kind of crazy.
Good field position for the Eagles here. Muir, Taylor, wide they go. Orford, the inside pass. But the Knights were waiting. Erdovic plays it, back it goes to Tuvin. The kick has been knocked down, or in fact it kicked it straight into the legs there of the replacement, Troy Fletcher. Gidley got rid of Taylor. Can't get rid of Torrens though.
This is very, very good work here by Fletcher. One, to get his right foot out and knock the ball down from the Taylor kick, and then regather the ball at the same time for his side. Plenty of yards to be made by Newcastle forwards up the middle of the rack. The Eagles players have to get off the line a little bit quicker.
Yeah, they're just standing there and waiting for the runners to come to them. Now they go wide, and it's Rudder. This is Hughes. Gave it back to Simpson, and he's inside the opposition territory. Butterfield having a breather on the bench, and he's pretty happy with proceedings, judging by the smile on the dial. And there's a good kick. 5 metres out from the corner post.
Andrew Johns very, very happy there. Knows they're just going to turn this side around all day long. Expect him to do a little chip kick over the top shortly, I think, because the fullback is very, very deep at Andrew King. There's no second line of defence there covering across, say, the half and the 5/8.
Yeah, pretty simple pattern today by the Newcastle Knights. 3 hit-ups and they just want to move it wide. Very predictable, but it's working so far.
It's a try scorer, Nigel Roy. 16 is on there. That's Alex Chan in the headgear for the Eagles. Well, not a great start to the match for Chan. And referee Tony Archer spotted a little knock on there. Doesn't matter how little or how big they are. You're going to pack the scrum down.
In you go. Stay in it, Steve, man.
So this could be costly for the Eagles as Ruddock gives it out to Gidley. Gidley tries to step past King. Orford in there to lend a hand as well. Now it's Hughes. In front of the uprights, about 15 metres out from the line. Options either side. Badiris will work it to the left and then they switch it back to the right, and that's where Johns is, and over it goes to Adam McDougall. McDougall! He's in for his second try. They stood off him, and McDougall said, "Thank you, I'll take another 4-pointer."
Well, how quick is he? Adam McDougall, well, today he should have had 3 tries already, but he will be having 2 beside his name already. Very good in and away. The long balls by the Newcastle Knights really starting to worry this Northern Eagles defence. You can see them all there starting to slide across. And he just goes in, away, puts the foot down on the pedal, gets outside Albert Torrens. Just gets over the try line once again. They are found wanting the defence of the Northern Eagles out wide.
Yeah, this is what Adam McDougall can do when he's fresh. Last week he was tired from State of Origin. This is what he's like when he's in full steam. You can't stop him. He's too quick and he's too big. What do? Well, there's not much you can do.
Struck it sweetly. Coming round, it's a beauty from the touchline. 12 points to 6. Another look at it here. McDougall's got a double.
That's that beautiful in and away. Albert Torrens thought he was going to go into where Jason Taylor was. He stood his ground. And what about the kick? Like I said, he had that smile on his face today. Russell looked like he's going to go there and enjoy himself, and he certainly is doing so far.
Big sweet spot on that football. Jeez, he struck it neatly.
So another restart by the Eagles. A good return of the football by the Knights as well. That's a youngster on there, Josh Perry. And Peter Sharp, the Eagles coach, will be disappointed that they've been turning over the football and giving away that penalty. Just allows the Knights to pick up another easy 10 metres.
He's a good kid, that Perry. Has plenty of yards. Got good pace for a big front rower.
Fletcher plays it. Rahahi. And here's Perry. Wide they go. Hughes to Beckett. He can't get away from Reeves. Has it back to McDougall. Rudder and Johns. Wide again. Gidley. They're just teasing them out wide. Gidley got the pass back on the inside, but Peden couldn't pick it up, and the Eagles come away with it. Andrew King.
Tackle 1, Jeff. Go to the blood bin.
That right side really being hammered by the Newcastle. Lucky for the Northern Eagles at Jeff Tuvey. There's a little bit of blood there coming from the nose. Got his hand out there to knock it down, and Andrew King cleaned up the Northern Eagles. Just going to the blood bin now.
It looks like he's got a crease across his nose there.
Ripping the ball out. 2 in the tackle, so the penalty goes to the Eagles.
Have a look at the touch, Judge. I'll tell me.
Still inside their own territory. At least in the NRL as far as penalties conceded. The Knights have good discipline. Cunningham.
You can just see the difference in defence there by the Newcastle Knights and the Northern Eagles. When the ball's being played, they are hitting the advantage on the defending side, so they're not making much yards whatsoever, the Northern Eagles.
Albert Torrens to play it. This is Menzies. Picked up by Orford. Full back to beat. Great tackle, McDougall. Ten out from the line. Joel Penny is on there at 18, making his debut. Taylor and Orford. He stepped another one. Got the pass back on the inside, and it's been towed ahead, and McDougall will run it out into the field of play. Only just, but that's enough. So they survive on that occasion, the Knights. Matt Orford's looking pretty good, isn't he? Finding some space.
He's looking very good. He's the man they've got to get the ball to out nice and wide at the same time. But I'll tell you what, I like that Joel Penny just come on. Good raps from the assistant coach there, Les Kiss. He said, watch this kid because he can certainly play.
Yeah, disappointing for Matt Orford. He's made 2 clean breaks, but where has the support play been? There should have been 12 points for the man of the Northern Eagles side.
This is Josh Perry. 10 from halfway. 18 minutes remaining in the first half at Marathon. That's a kick from Johns, and he finds some open spaces. Who's going to get there first? It's Andrew King. He runs straight into Hughes and also Rudder. Reeves picked up and dumped. Good tackle, Denny Medeiros. Stringer got the pass away. Taylor holds it up, then gives it to Torrance, but it went behind him. And over on the far side, it's Frew, and Frew got away. A simple tackle. Tahu came from behind to clean him up. That's the 30-metre mark. Orford, cut out pass. Menzies got the pass away. This is Wilson. Wilson back on the inside. Reeves. Muir steps McDougall, and Muir's going to score a very good try for the Northern Eagles. They've hit back. It's 12-10 with the kick to come. What about the sidestep from the big man?
What about, I'll tell you what, that was one of the best sidesteps I've seen from the second row. He did a little off the left foot, back on the right foot, and went around Adam McDougall like exactly what he was doing, just standing there. But great ball movement by the Northern Eagles there on this right-hand side, turning the ball back inside Wilson. Another great pass, and maybe a fraction forward. Look at that. Oh, see you later. I'm going around you. And he knew that Lenny Becker was coming. Well, I better get that ball down straight away.
Yeah, they're stringing together a number of passes. This is the one that looks like it could be forward. Just play on, mate. Don't worry about that. The big right footer, a little bit of a left, but he goes to the right. Adam McDougall clutching thin air. Muir, unbelievable.
Well, they're just waiting for it to be confirmed by the video referee, just checking on that pass. Try time. Yeah, probably worth a look upstairs. It would have been unfortunate for this man if he was denied the try, because he absolutely did a magnificent job with that step going past his New South Wales teammate. Taylor at 9 metres in from touch. Needs it to come round, and it's there. So that's another 2 points to lock it all up at 12 all. Another look at the try here.
You see there Lenny Becker trying to come up and make the tackle on Steve Menzies, but Joel Wilson had been on the field a short time, got a great right-handed pass back inside. He just gave this guy a great amount of praise, got himself involved in that try twice. Good work by the second row and Adam Muir.
So now it's the Eagles running it out. That's a milestone for Taylor. Taylor, he now moves to 1,842, so he's 4th on the table of all-time point scorers. He goes past Eric Sims. It's still Cronin in front, but only just. He's 3 ahead of Darryl Halligan. The Bulldogs in action this weekend against the Raiders. 15 and a half to go. Orford got the kick in. McDougall runs it back to the 30. Donaldson is on there in 17. It's a good run by Beckett. Likes to get involved, doesn't he, from the left wing. O'Brien to halfway. Donaldson allowed to run from dummy half. Easy meters. Johns. Butterfield. Taking them on. Good tackle around the bootlaces by Roy. Johns. Johns kicking. King. Oh, for a moment, there could have been a bit of confusion as Reeves came across.
Adam.
But King, the fullback, heard the call. He took it well.
He certainly did take it well. Plenty of pressure coming through there, and Danny Medeiros putting pressure on both Northern Eagles player and King. And Reeves, and lucky for Reeves, he did come up with that ball, but it was a great take.
Menzies up towards halfway. Always looking to offload. Cunningham. Allowed to offload back to King, and now Menzies. Through the hands it goes, Torrens. Torrens, player on the inside, he kicks through for King, but it's been snaffled out of his grasp by Steve Simpson. He did well the second row to get back and defuse that charge. For a moment it looked like they had the numbers. They elected to kick though.
Yeah, he could have gone on the left-hand side. Andrew Frew was flying up on the outside, but Tahu done a good job along with McDougall. They got themselves in between the ball carriers. That's why Torrens had to put the little kick into the right-hand side.
So now it's Fairley running it out up towards the 30. Johns, cut out pass, Gidley. Torrens hangs on. Johns. He's kicking for a bit of distance this time. And the bounce is a good one for Andrew King, 10 metres out from his line. The Knights come up in one line. There's no way through there for King. Reeves. And now Torrens. Albert Torrens, re-signed with the club this week. He's played every game this season for the Eagles. Torrens. Only other player to do that is Owen Cunningham. And Cunningham came off the bench in a lot of those matches. Standing out wide now, it's Steve Trindle. They cough it up. Beckett gives it to O'Brien. Putting a bit of go forward. Peden is a dummy half. He gives it to Fairley. David Fairley dummying on the inside. Fairley keeping it alive. Rudder taken there by Taylor. Problems here for the Eagles. Gidley wide they go to Mana. Tahu charging for the line. Can he get it down? No, he is held up. Centimetres out.
He's knocked that ball forward.
Well, they're going to go upstairs to confirm that one, Gary.
Well, that's where I reckon the knock on is straight away. That left hand of Adam McDougall. Tahu comes over the top.
Well, he's got to be offside.
It's got to be offside.
Yeah, I think the video referee should be used when it's needed, but I don't think we need it here. The referee saw it in good position. Why not just say, hey, let's bring it out either a 20-metre tap or we'll have a scrum. Well,
Fourth scrum.
straight scrum, 10 metres. That's, I mean, wasted 2 minutes there or a minute and a half there.
So the left hand there touching the ball. Just loses control. That close line, you're always going to have plenty of pressure from the opposition to making the tackle on you. And McDougall just trying to rush it to get the ball over the line.
But again, there was real pressure from the Knights thanks to that long pass by Johns that gave Gidley just that little bit of extra room to set something up over there for Tahu.
And Albert Torrens has been put under a lot of pressure on that left-hand side in defence. He always goes with the in and away. Gidley, he's having a fine game here today.
Stringer, 12 from halfway. Penny fires it over to the left winger, Frew. Jurdovic makes it to halfway. Final tackle coming up. Taylor's in position. And instead, it's a kick from dummy half that went straight into one of the Knights who didn't play at it. And now it's picked up by Adam McDougall.
I don't think it was Steve Trindle's best ever kick. Then he went around about 15 metres. I think some of those were sideways.
Simpson. One of the young back rowers in the Newcastle Knights lineup. The squad. Pretty good step by O'Brien and a good offload as well. And now Andrew Johns has got Billy Peden out wide, back on the inside. Rudder. He got rid of Taylor. Rudder. Taylor hangs on for a moment. He got rid of him for the second time, but Cunningham was the one that forced the tackle. Badiris. Andrew Johns, wide it goes. Beckett. Hughes to Andrew Johns. Johns running, giving it back to Hughes, and now Peden. Peden, they keep it alive. It's knocked back, it's play on. It's like basketball. It's knocked down. That should be 6 again. It is. Rauhahi taking the ball, the big fella. Paul Rauhahi.
Oh.
He's lost the ball over the line.
Knock on over the line. No advantage, 20.
Oh,
Knocked it on.
can you believe it?
Well, he took him on, the big fella, didn't he? Went straight over the top. He said, I'm going to score this try. I just wanted that ball was actually stolen from him by Albert Torrens.
1-on-1.
One-on-one, that's fine. So that's play on. So that should be a drop kick.
I'm with you. There was no knock on there by Rahihi. That should have been a scrum just 5 metres out.
Well, it's given them a restart back on the 20.
Or drop out, sorry, yeah.
There, that's where he stole the ball.
No knock on.
No knock on whatsoever. Like up the other end of the field where the ball was stolen by a Newcastle Knights player. They tackled the in goal. That should have been a dropout.
I heard the referee call a knock on over the line, so he's got it wrong. And the Eagles are led off there. Tragedy for the young knight, Paul Rauhahi. 10 metres inside the Knights' territory. Locked up at 12 all here. Final tackle, 8.5 to go in the first half. Straight down the throat of Adam McDougall. He's had plenty of returning to do from those kicks. And now Tamana Tahu stepping. The cover got across there, though. It was good cover by big Steve Trindle.
This is where the Knights will probably take that one tackle in. And watch out for Andrew Johns. Butterfield probably to settle it up. And I'll go wide again.
Looked like there could have been a bit of a knock on in there or a hand in the play the ball, but the referee said play on. Rauhahi. Turvey has been to the blood bin, ready to get back into the battle. Back on the inside it goes, Donaldson. Rauhahi again, he's in everything. And now it's Peenan, almost through. Taylor just hangs on to one boot. Penalty. Penalty to the Knights, 2 metres out. Good field position. They take the quick tap. It goes across now from Johns to David Fairley. He steps. Fairley back on the inside, but Dearest is going to be held up. Only about 1 metre out. Real trouble here for the Eagles, trying to find a way across the line. Held up in the field of play, though. So Fairley will play it back to Donaldson. And now the captain, they won't stop him. Tony Butterfield charges across like a rampaging bull. Plenty of possession, and now they've got the points to show for it at long last. 16 points to 12, 7 to go in the first half, kick to come.
I'll tell you what, if we go back to where that tap was given, I'm pretty sure that there were 2 Newcastle players in an offside position when Ben Donaldson tapped the ball. Too much pressure on the Northern Eagles now. Too much ball for the Newcastle Knights, and that's what's come up with that try. Great work. Just watch them catch the ball here. Now, do those players get back onside? No. Their linesman should have called that. They are offside. This should not be a try. Great work once again, though. This is the play beforehand. The ball is passed backwards in by Fairley, who I think he's had a fine game. And then the big front rower, the captain of the day, Butterfield, gets down nice and low, runs into a great big gaping hole, and he'll take the 4 points.
And this is Johns. Flags are up. So that's 3 converted tries now to the Knights, 2 converted tries to the Eagles. It's Newcastle leading 18 points to 12.
And Russell in that position where those 2 players were offside. Surely somebody should have seen it, bar me.
Well, we can get you a whistle, we can get you down there on the sideline.
I used to have one when I was out there.
I tell you what, though, it was just like loading up the cannon. And Butterfield was a cannonball. There was no stopping him.
So some interesting decisions already in the first half by the adjudicators out there. But on the score sheet, it is the Knights leading by 18 points to 12.
Good run, Perry.
The Eagles have always been able to reply with some points after conceding some. So can they get back across the try line before the half-time break, which is just over 5 minutes away? Not too happy at the moment, Warren Wright. He knows there's still a lot of football to be played in this match.
No, that's Warren happy.
The inside pass, Peter Webb without it, picked up by Badiris.
There's no advantage. Third tackle, it's a scrum.
It's a scrum, though. The pass was forward. Tell you what, if some of those little passes start to stick early in the second half, the Eagles will be in a bit of bother.
Well, geez, there wasn't much in there. Tried to pass it backwards. Delightful pickup though by the hooker, Dearest.
Can you go, Jason?
They're starting to open them up, moving the ball wide. The Seagulls defence is getting a little tired. And these are the times when you just cannot afford mistakes like that because the door is open. They're a very tired football team, the Northern Eagles.
Some of that ball was knocked down by one of the Newcastle players. Some of the other player was actually offside.
This is Fairley. Of course, Newcastle still have some of their stars to come back. Hopefully they'll be at full strength for the playoffs because at full strength they can give this competition a real shape. This is now Beckett. The cover got across there though. 10 metres out from the line. Rudder, centre field. Still allowed to keep going, and he offloaded there to Josh Perry, and Perry almost crawled across. Raumahi! He's done it this time! Lost the ball over the line earlier on. Robbie O says, okay, at long last you've got some points on the score sheet.
There's around that ruck area. See how they are so wide, the defenders there. Rahi, no, they're running the smaller man. He's going to go right over the top of Jason Taylor. A little halfback, he couldn't certainly do anything there, but a great big gap around the ruck area once again.
Yeah, what a bench the Newcastle Knights have got. This young man, poor, he could claim a place in most other top sides without any problems. He comes off the bench, fresh legs, he really gives them what they need.
Trying to add the extra 2. 4 tries to 2 so far. This time it's away. Andrew's not too happy about that one. So a fairly handy lead. 38th minute, 22 points to 12. It's Turvey, the skipper, gets ready for the chase. So Josh Perry to play it. 20 out from his own line. Here's the try scorer, Orahi. Not one of the high-profile New Zealanders playing in the NRL. But he has a go week in, week out. And they go wide now, and Beckett, Lenny Beckett, away from one. Players on the inside, Simpson gets the pass away. Peden, this is the Newcastle Knights at their brilliant best. They go wide early, they have the support on the inside, they have finishers like Billy Peden. And all of a sudden, it's one-way traffic, close to half-time, 26 points to 12 with the kick to come.
They start the slide there, the Northern Eagles. He runs in a beautiful hole there, Hughes, and he just gets away. Lenny Beckett gets the ball back and side to Simpson. Watch this pass with the right arm. Gets over the top of Menzies, and Billy Peden backing up as ever. Goes right underneath the black dot, and I'll tell you what, that is a magnificent rugby league try.
This is a bit of a classy piece of football, the pass inside out of the back of the hand, and this man, Billy Peden, one of the unsung heroes and one of the most underrated players in this NRL competition.
And from right in front, Andrew Johns raised the flags. So it's 28 points to 12. That is half-time at Marathon in Newcastle, and the home side doing it pretty good. Leading by 16, 28 to 12.
Let's go.
So we're underway, round 20. Hope you're enjoying all the action from Marathon. And the Eagles really need to be the first side to score points in the second half, Gary Freeman.
Well, the first thing they have to do is make sure they don't make a mistake up this end of the field, because if they do, the Newcastle Knights will certainly capitalise on it. But yes, they do have to score first.
A simple set of 6 would suffice, or 5, and then kick deep into Newcastle's territory. That's the sort of start they need in this second half. They need a start that gives them a bit of confidence.
10 from halfway. King will play at centre field. Menzies turning it back to Orford. Well, fortunately for them, it went back. And Stringer forced to play it now. Still inside his own territory. Here's Muir. Driven back, looking to offload. Got it back to King. King up over halfway. Butterfield has him. Simpson also lending a hand in the tackle. Now it's Taylor. Over for Lenny Beckett's wing. Bounced out of one. Won't get away from Muir. He'll play it on the 20. Andrew Johns waiting for it at dummy half. McDougall, 2 tries in the opening 40. Got rid of Tuvey. But the Eagles hold on. Durdovic in there as well as Stringer. Here's O'Brien. Andrew Johns running to the line. Wide they go. Hughes. Almost to halfway. Peden. Straight ahead. Picks up 10 metres. So the final tackle on the way now. And it goes back to Andrew Johns. Keeping it low. Nudging it down into the corner. King will have to run it out. He meets 3 chasers. He'll play it about 11 metres out from his own line.
So I think the Northern Eagles really behind on the scoreboard by 28 points to 12. I think they've got to have a go at them early and make them do some chasing the Newcastle Knights. Nice long ball.
And the bounce is okay. Fruit, call back. He got the call, I think, from the touchy that it was forward.
Forward, yep. Here we go.
Took them a while to call it back.
Well, I can tell you the touchy was in no position to call whether that was forward. He was way downfield, so he wouldn't have been able to see whether it was forward or not. That was the referee's call.
I wonder if it was a touchy over on the far side. It's not the first time someone furthest from the play interjected. Anyway, this is great field position now for the Newcastle Knights, and it goes out to Hughes. And his opposite number, Roy, holds on to the short side. McDougall. Nigel Roy tackling again. O'Brien trying to find a way through. Clinton O'Brien, soft in the end. He wasn't entitled to score that one. He had plenty of Eagles players in front of him, but have a look at him. He took them on. I'll run at you all day. And he scored a try, and it's his first for this year, the second in his career. Good on you, Clinton. Gee, that could be very costly.
Well, we've had Butterfield, we've had O'Brien and Rahihi, all the big front rowers stepping up today and saying, I'm going to claim a 4-pointer. As you said in the first half, around that ruck area, that's where they've been found wanting. The Northern Eagles, very, very soft defence there.
Well, they obviously targeted the Northern Eagles forward power because they are just treating it with no respect whatsoever.
There's the conversion. The flags are up, so they are well into the 30s now.
And this is it, he cuts back and he steps off his right foot. Just no player going low enough to grab hold of his legs, then come over the top to grab the ball. Through trying to pull the ball out.
45th minute, 34 to 12. So the Eagles really need to dig deep now. They could be on the end of a real flogging here. After they scored the first try of the match and led 6-0 and then came back to make it 12 all. And after that, that's 4 unanswered tries to the Knights, and they go wide again. And now it's Hughes. Over to Lenny Beckett, stepping back on the inside. Beckett giving it back to Badiris and Andrew Johns straight ahead. 6 metres from halfway. David Fairley. Badiris. Dummying. Bounced off Adam Muir. Couldn't get away from big Steve Trindle. And now it's Andrew Johns. He's trying to step his way through and doing a pretty good job at it. Final tackle coming up now. Rudder moves in. The first receiver. Kicking across field. The bounces there for, in the end, Reeves for the Eagles, and they pounced on him in goal. Mark Hughes was there for the Knights, and so Newcastle will get another crack at it. It'll be a restart from between the posts.
Give Sean Rudder a big rap here. He knew that Andrew Johns was caught playing the ball. He knew he had to go into the first receiver, put the little chip over the back there, plants it back to this left-hand side. Good chase once again by Hughes. Lenny Beckett on the outside just covering at the same time.
63% to the Knights. Inside their own half, the Northern Eagles have played 61% of the match so far inside their own 50. That's a nightmare stat for their coach, Peter Sharp. Fairley. More great field position, and it's play on. Badiris giving it to Peden. Well, he almost sort of slammed that ball into the chest of Andrew Johnson. I don't think Andrew could do much about that. It was almost a point-blank range, wasn't it?
Well, it certainly was, but gee, they got themselves in the right position. Take a look at this. He really, over the top, and it's just too hard, comes off the shoulder. Johns is having a little look ahead of him, seeing if the try line was vacant. It certainly was.
The Eagles, they're pretty bunched there around the ruck. Trindle. That's the 30. Tuvey. Stringer, 10 from halfway. Orford got the kick away, but he found Adam McDougall. And here's another return of the football by McDougall. So they start this raid about 12 from halfway. Gidley probing out wide. Carried 2 or 3 of them for a few metres. He'll play it on the halfway. Simpson. Badiris, switch of play. Rudder, Johns. Now Hughes. Beckett. Roy, he's been asked to do plenty of tackling out in the centres. Nigel Roy. Quick hands and the cutout pass. Another cutout pass, and they pick up Tamata Tahu from one side of the field to the other with a couple of passes almost. Now it's Badiris. Badiris running. Badiris dummying out the back door. It's the final tackle, and now it goes to the captain. He gets it back to Johns. Johns just kicking ahead. Johns, it's play on, and it's there now for Albert Torrens.
We've seen some very enterprising play from the Newcastle Knights, but it's interesting to note they are 13th in the completion rates in the NRL, and their handling errors are 13th at the same time. The reason being is that they promote the ball so heavily. They don't mind going from side to side, and they will offload when you least expect it. They are a very good football side.
And still some big names to come back. Matthew Johns. We've got Peter Shields, a good back row with a solid work rate. Robbie O'Davis, and maybe they will get Darren Albert back as well. Butterfield. Johns hit the gap that left the ball behind. And now the Eagles have knocked on. Both ways. Should be a Knights feed into the scrum.
Peter Sharp be hoping that they complete one set of 60 Northern Eagles and get out of their own half for a change. See if we put some pressure on the Newcastle Knights at their end of the field.
Geez, 22 points the difference now. If the Knights get some more football, this is going to go past the half century without a doubt.
Andrew Johns. Rudder. A big gap opened up in front of him. It soon closed though. They came across and shut him down. Gidley dummy, and Gidley for the line. They hold him up. He's 1 metre out. The Knights, and now Rahahi looking for 2. Can't get through. Rudder. Cross to Andrew Johns. No, it went past him. Went behind. Fairley got rid of one. David Fairley. Pulled down from behind by Albert Torrens. Pressure here for the Eagles. Johns taking them on. Johns. Andrew will play it. Final tackle coming up. Big line-up out to the left. But they go to the right, and David Fairley kicking in for Tamata Tahu. He claims the try. The referee wants to go upstairs. Well, the big line-up was out to the left and had 2 men on the right. Fairley said, well, I'll put it on the toe. And it was good communication from Tahu, who read it pretty well. He went flying through. You only have to get a little bit of downward pressure on it. Did he get enough? It looks all right.
I'll tell you what, David Fairley doing a very good job putting the ball in. This will be very, very interesting for the video referee.
And that should be enough to convince Chris Ward, the video referee, that it's in fact a try.
Green light, no problem in the end. And so the backs get another try. There's a bit of a battle going on here. 4 tries to the forwards and 3 to the backs now. Tamata Tahu, that's his 13th try, so he's equal second. From out wide, it looks okay, but in the end, just drifted out to the left. He's having a good time. Why not? You look up at the score sheet and you see your side leading by 38 to 12, 53rd minute. It's becoming a bit of a romp for the Newcastle Knights. No joy for the captain of the Eagles, Jeff Tuvey. But they have to keep trying. Really out of the running now for the playoffs, the Eagles. Their biggest ever loss was 40 points. That was that real hiding they copped from the Cowboys in Townsville back in round 8. Rahahi carries his opposite number, Owen Cunningham, for a few metres.
Well, that's the worrying part for the coach of the Northern Eagles, the amount of possession that Newcastle has had. 64% of the ball.
Eagles 64% inside
in
their own
half. They wish they had 64% in the opposition's half.
There's a kick ahead from Gidley. And it's been picked up by Gidley. That could have been forward.
That's forward.
It was great work from Gidley to reclaim it. He wants to check the last pass. He was in a pretty good spot, I thought, the referee, to have a look for himself. But from this angle, from where we are, high in the stand at Marathon, it was definitely forward, but we'll go through the motions. What about the work from Gidley, though?
Yeah, well, like the first up we were saying, oh, that's a mile forward. And it was, the fullback is so deep that those little chip overs are going to work all the time, because the half doesn't play in the second line. He does catch it, he receives the ball there, and I think Andrew Johns is actually in front when he receives the ball at the same time. That's why I think Andrew wasn't in a rush. Russell Fairfax get back to have that kick.
No, and normally we see some better celebrations from Mr. Andrew Johns, but not today. I think he realised that he may have been in an offside position when he received the football. But still some classy play by Matthew Gidley. Wonderful skills to get him into that position.
The changeover, it was on the last tackle, so the changeover goes to the Eagles, and now it's Cunningham. They're on the 20, their own territory, where they've been parked for quite a big proportion of this match. Orford. Support player, collared there. Tuvey. Cunningham up over halfway. They're not really threatening, though. It's pretty simple one-out stuff at the moment. I guess the coach would be even relieved to know that they're going to get a decent set away. Cross to McDougall. And McDougall bounced out of a couple. He will play it on the 20. Troy Fletcher in 15 at dummy half. That was forward as well.
That is forward.
I think that's the difference between the two sides. Is that Newcastle Knights play a very expansive game, and their players, when they come back inside from a kick return, and the fullback has received it, you see the forward pass given there, is that they all spread away from the ball. Whereas the Northern Eagles side, they all get together in a big bunch around the ruck area, and it gives them no chance of spreading the ball at all.
26 unanswered points in 22 minutes. But now the Eagles have an opportunity to get a little bit of pride back into the situation. To the short side they go, Roy. 7 or 8 metres out from the line. Reeves. Cunningham. Going backwards at the moment. Cunningham Got it out the back door, Orford, and wide they go. Muir is out there, he puts it on the toe. Kicked it straight into the legs of Andrew Johns, who didn't play for it. No, in fact, he's saying now that it was played at, and now Wilson, Joel Wilson in the 20 jersey. They've got plenty of tackles up their sleeve here, the Eagles. No need to panic. Across it goes to Orford. Orford trying to step, and he throws a wobbly one out the back door. Picked up here by Menzies. And they lost about 18 metres on that occasion. Tuvey. Chan. Tuvey waiting for it. Reeves and Orford. Flat pass, and they try and keep it alive over on the far side. Now it's Penny. Back on the inside he comes, but he's tackled there by Johns. Orford. They go to the air. Roy. He's left it behind, but it's out here now, and it's play on. And so Frew dots it down in the corner. And so this will give them a little bit of hope of restoring some pride. The Eagles are in.
This is going back a fraction to where he's put the little kick in. Attacked by, of course, Andrew Johns. This gives them another set of 6. And it really gave them an opportunity then to put this Newcastle Knights side under some sort of pressure. Orford puts it up nice and high. As you point out, great jump there by Nigel Roy. They get the ball out the back door once again. And the ball in this man's hands, doesn't matter how fast you are, he's very, very quick. He's always going to score that try.
Looks to me like the Newcastle Knights have switched on. They're comfortably in lead. Look how many people attack this football from Newcastle Knights. Basically nobody. They let it come down and bounce. The Northern Eagles got it, moved it a couple wide. They have switched off the Newcastle Knights. I bet Warren Ryan sends a message out there to rev them up again. I think you'll see them fire up from this kickoff, but take nothing away from the Northern Eagles. They're on the scoreboard in the second half.
7 tries to 3 now. And Orford from out wide. He can't add any extras, so 38 points to 16. Have a look at it here. They're 50-50, aren't they? The bomb.
Well, you've got to make sure you get up there and contest the ball, as Russell Fairfax did indicate before. And Newcastle Knights, they might have switched off just a fraction. You can't switch off in this game now because they can score tries aside. It's interesting changes that they have made. But, Taylor has gone to the bench, and little Orford's gone into the halfback position.
Cunningham up to the 30-metre mark. To the short side, Jeff Tuvey. Nigel Roy to play it. Orford. The bounce is okay for Menzies. Back on the inside, Muir, great work. They try and keep it alive, but it's been scooped up there by Billy Peden for the Knights. You can't blame the Eagles, I guess, at this stage for actually trying to chance their arm a little bit.
Well, I think it's great work, actually. But they've got to do that. They've got to try and start spreading the ball out. That's a great run by Perry once again. And try and make sure that they put the Newcastle defence under some sort of pressure.
Rahahi. Donaldson moving into dummy half. Fairley picks up a good 10, 12 metres again. A couple of tackles remaining. Johns, switch of play. McDougall up from fullback. Final tackle coming up. Andrew Johns running to the line. The grubber kick. But Frew has it, and it doesn't he do well to get out of there. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for an ankle tap, it could have been a length of the field runaway.
The Newcastle Knights have decided we've won this game. They're not that keen this last 20-odd minutes of the match. Take a look at this chase. The Newcastle Knights have had a great chase all game. Slips out of a simple tackle by Tahu there. And you're right, unless there was Johns in reserve, he could have gone the full 100 metres.
So they're 10 from halfway, the Eagles. Reeves with the kick. Sending Beckett back. He allows it to bounce. Hasn't had too many attacking opportunities today. Lenny Beckett. McDougall. McDougall. Orford. And he got the pass away. Great work, Adam McDougall, and Mark Hughes will run away and score the try. Puts the finger in the air even before he put the ball down. He knew that was a classic Newcastle try. All about support play. But what about McDougall? He was not entitled to beat those tacklers. He just walked through them.
Look at their markers. They don't even chase. He gets in there beside the big fella. Number 6 Orford gives chase. Doesn't hold on strong enough. Andrew King need to go in and kill the play. Mark Hughes comes up with great support there. He's chased by Joel Penny. That just really stops him from going around underneath the post.
Alan McDougall could see space in front of him. There was no defensive line whatsoever. From left to right, lateral across the field, there was no one there. They were all uneven. And then he just stays alive. You can't give this bloke some room.
Dutch judges like it. The flags are up. 44 points to 16. Plenty to cheer about on the hill here at Marathon today for another pretty good crowd. Have a look at it here.
Paul String is the man who missed the tackle initially. Orford, I thought, that is where it should have been tackled. That's where he should have been tackled, Adam McDougall. But this is what they're so good at, Newcastle, backing each other up on the first, second play, third, fourth play, whatever play it is, they will be there to finish it off.
The captain with the return of the football. Butterfield led them well today. Can he lead them to a victory march in 2000, his final season on today's form? And with the fact that they've got another 3 of their final 6 matches to be played at home, you would think that they are certainties now to make the playoffs. 10 from halfway, the Knights. His rudder. Hasn't he done well deputising for Matthew Johns? Sloppy pass there, cleaned up by McDougall. They don't hold on again. And McDougall's through again. Simple stuff. Full back to beat. Adam McDougall. Through came across to help his fullback out. It was young Joel Penny. As they look on in disbelief on the bench, the Eagles. Rudder. Switch of play. Probing. And he's right in front of the uprights. Final tackle coming up. Where will they go this time? Donaldson at dummy half. Across it goes Badiris and Andrew Johns kicking into the end goal. Pressure on. Tahu has got a double. 2 for Tahu, 2 for McDougall. 9 tries to 3 now. 14 tries in the season for Tahu. So he's staying in touch with Blacklock.
Andrew Johns knows that the fullback there was just a young Joel Penny. There's a lot of experience there. And Andrew Frew trying to knock the ball over the back. Didn't realise that Tahu was so close. And once again, he's got another 4-pointer.
Well, this is just clever play. The fullback's way behind the try line. And, geez, you've got to cover the ball. You've got to put yourself between the opposition and the football. That's what you've got to do. The winger was guilty of not doing it here. Take a look, when he turns now, here's where he turns. We don't get to see any of this sort of stuff. He should be covering the football as much as he possibly can.
Andrew Johns has kicked 6 conversions before in another match this year. He's never kicked 7 in 2000. You'll have to wait for the next one. I'll put the mocker on him.
Yes, certainly.
From out wide.
So I think when he lined that ball up to kick it, he was just happy that he was just seeing his side go so well in this game at 48 points to 16, and when he kicked it on, he wasn't too worried, I don't think. It's just sort of the guy he is. He just loves playing footy and getting out there and having a good time.
Menzies, the Eagles' leading line breaker, but really it's been pretty tough for him to find any space out there today. All one-way traffic, and now this is Butterfield. 15 out from his own line. Clinton O'Brien. Donaldson. Fairley. Donaldson. Butterfield. Scoring run. Look at that. 36-4 in the last 32 minutes. Newcastle on fire. Rudder up over halfway, got the pass back on the inside, but he just couldn't find Troy Fletcher. So the Eagles have it.
So those first 2 passes by the Newcastle attacking, they get it nice and wide. once again, they just leave the defenders behind. They start sliding, and then the holes are back inside. Shelby wouldn't be too happy. A couple of players out there have tried very, very hard today, though, for him.
Well, they're not too many players away from being a good football team, the Eagles. Maybe with a little bit of money to spend in the off-season, maybe they'll be there in 2001. Joel Penny, the 20-year-old, on debut. Through to play it. Back to Torrens, waiting a dummy half. Verdovic. Reeves. Orford. Wide ball. Wilson. Got the pass back. Handball on. Final tackle coming up. Orford. Shape to kick, but now they decide to run. They just drill it into the in goal, into touch in goal, in fact, so we'll come back to the 20 for a restart.
See, they're trying to do things with the ball in the last tackle there. They run it, step back inside to Matt Orford. He knew that there's plenty of pressure put on him. The kick just a fraction too long. Beautifully covered up there by the Newcastle players.
Yeah, with due respect to this Northern Eagles side, they're very slow. The skills they do, the play the balls are slow. The movement from the dummy half is slow. The passes are slow. They've got to upgrade in all those areas. We can't just see it in the sixth tackle like we saw it then. They need to do that from tackle 1 and onwards, and they're not doing that, and that's why they're paying the penalty behind on the scoreboard.
Butterfield is 5 from halfway. Still plenty of time for them to hit the 50 mark. Newcastle, they lead 48 points to 16. Next week, they're away to the Dragons. The Northern Eagles are at home taking on the Cowboys in Gosford. Turn over here, and Frew will play it. Steve Trindle. Well, he's lost that. And it's play on. Trindle just trying to offload, trying to get the pass away. But he had the Knights hanging all over the top of him. Rudder. 30-metre mark for the Knights inside the Eagles' territory. Donaldson. Johns. McDougall. The gap soon closed. Johns and David Fairley. Double round with Johns, and he kicks it straight into the arms of one of the Eagles players. Durdovic, I think it was. It was, and so the Eagles come away with it. Wilson, the rugby convert.
He's always looking to get the ball away, Joel Wilson. And that right arm, he needs to get someone to back him up on the inside of the ruck.
Gee, that was a solid tackle over the top then by O'Brien. Or was it Tahu? No, it was a combination of both. I'd hate to be on the end of that one.
Very vigorous indeed. 10 from halfway, the Eagles. Tuvey. Muir. Muir got the pass away, Orford, and over on the far side it's Wilson. Wilson gives it back on the inside to Reeves. They kick ahead, turning McDougall around. The bounce is there for who wants it. The Eagles have it. And there's a little knock on there by Taylor. Are unlucky at the end for the Eagles.
Once again, going down that right-hand side of the field, they come up with a very good play. They put the kick back inside, and the referee said, you've come up with just with a slight knock on. It's a very good referee there by Archer to pick that up.
Alan McDougall certainly has had a game back there to make the tackle that caused Taylor to knock that ball on. He's been just about everywhere. Some fine running in this second half. A couple of tries to boot. Adam McDougall. It's hard to leave him out of the side, even though they have Robbie O maybe back near semi-final time.
Fairley. 25 metres out from his own line. Donaldson. Johns. Rahahi. Johns. Andrew Johns got it away to Perry. Ladiris to his captain, Butterfield. 1 metre inside Eagles territory. Final tackle coming up. Johns is on the short side, and just a bit of variation this time. It's a short kick and chase, and King has it for the Eagles. Pulled down from behind. Muir, Taylor. Reeves got across to Wilson. He again offloaded. He's doing that job pretty well. Wilson trying to keep it alive. Taylor is turning it back on the inside to Stringer. Stringer, that's a good run. 10 metres inside Newcastle territory. 48-16 the Knights over the Eagles, and that's almost intercepted by Tahu. He played at that one, so we'll come back.
I'll tell you what, Feely's hurt himself in that tackle on Paul Stringer before. Slowly just getting to his feet. There's Tahu going for the intercept. If he caught that ball, there was no one at home. Tell you what, he has had one fine game here today, but an absolute magnificent season too so far. David Feely.
Torrens.
He was calling you, and you never gave him anything.
Menzies having a breather on the bench, along with Trindle. Now it's Cunningham after a penalty at the way of the Eagles. Newcastle offside. Taylor and Orford. Orford to Torrens. Tahu came in and wrapped him up around the chest. Orford a dummy half. Taylor. Stringer. Taken ball and all by Josh Perry over the top. Underneath it was Troy Fletcher. A good field position here for the Eagles, and Taylor looks to the right, gives it back to Cunningham. They switch it back to the left, and out the back door it goes. Cunningham again, and Chan stands, gives it back to Tuvey. Still some tackles remaining. King and Orford face pass. They try and keep it alive. It's been knocked on now, has it? And it should be play on. It is play on for the Newcastle Knights. So that just about sums up the Eagles' day, Gary, doesn't it? As Johns takes a while to get to his feet.
Just the last pass not going in the right position. It's a very good tackle there by Alex Chant. Rahi on notice. That's the sort of tackles they needed to do in the opening start of this game. And that ball's lost by Fletcher. Will be playing now for the Northern Eagles. Out to Tuvey.
So the Knights a little bit sloppy on that occasion as well, and they present the Eagles with another opportunity to score some points. Muir standing, looking to offload, taking them on again, gives it across to Taylor. Over the top on the far side, it's Reeves. Reeves cutting back on the inside, and he's going to dot it down for a try for the Eagles. Brendan Reeves, consolation stuff at this stage though. And they hit the 20 mark. It's 48 points to 20. Came from that mistake by the Knights.
This is the mistake by Fletcher. But just watch Muir when he runs with the ball. He tries to promote it all the time. He gets it out nice and wide. And Tuvey sends the ball across to Joel Wilson again. He's tried very hard when he's had the opportunities out there on the field. Here he is, tearing the ball out. He gets players away. Watch this pass here. This is great work. And that's what he needs. He needs players to get in position to receive it. Good work there by Taylor to put that ball over to Reeves. Stepped inside Hughes. And McDougall tried to save the try but couldn't do it.
Taylor. It's waved away. Scoreline remains 48 points to 20. It's the Knights over the Eagles.
Now, Adam Muir here has tried very, very hard here today, trying to get his side going forward. Always looking for that offload. As I said, that's a beautiful long ball. Watch the right foot step here. Boom, back inside. Very close to trying to get him over the sideline there, I should say, by Adam McDougall. It's the sort of day the Northern Eagles players have had. Mistake you won't see, or the coach won't want to see at the same time. Matt Orford shaking his head. He's tried very hard too today. The young number 6 didn't get a very good bounce there. He'd be disappointed with that.
Well, a great opportunity now for the Knights to chalk up 50 here. Hughes over to McDougall, to Beckett. They hold on this occasion, the Eagles. The Knights 10 metres out. McDougall allowed to stand there. It's almost like touch. He kicks ahead, but the communication wasn't great because nobody else was on to the job, and there was a breakout now by the Eagles, but Orford, for the second time in the match, hasn't got the pace to go all the way.
So Rudder did a very good job of picking him up, but he was probably one of the few Newcastle Knights players that actually wanted to do the chase.
Here's Chan inside Knights territory by about 6 metres. Tuvey and Taylor up from fullback. It's King. They keep it alive. Cunningham, and great work again. Muir through the legs by Wilson. Over on the far side, it's Reeves. This time he can't get away. Wilson bring it to the runners, and big Steve Trindle will play it 35 metres out. Tuvey, Taylor. Taylor gave it to King. Donaldson around the bootlaces for the Knights. Tuvey to that short side. Muir kicking, and it's going to be over the dead ball line, so we will come back to the 20 for a restart.
Just under 2 minutes to go in the game now. The crowd would like to see the Newcastle Knights post another try. That man there, Adam Muir, putting the kick downfield. Straight away, the Newcastle Knights go wide and make it easy 12 metres.
1.5 minutes remaining. Rahihi, one of the try scorers. 9 tries to 4 to the Knights. They scored 5 in the first half, 4 in the second, and now it's Badiris. Badiris up to the halfway. Danny Badiris still going. Eventually dragged down by Orford from behind. Now it's Andrew Johns dummying back on the inside. They go wide, and Donaldson fires it out now. Peden. Back to Donaldson. Butterfield and Rudder will play it now right in front of the uprights. Final tackle coming up.
Expecting them to go left-hand side. Sorry, Greg.
What's John's got up his sleeve here? They work it to the left. Donaldson. This is McDougall. McDougall standing. Hughes. Beckett stepping back on the inside, and Lenny Beckett will score the try for the Newcastle Knights. The fans are on their feet again. He's going to go and have it confirmed by the video referee. This could send them into the 50s.
But again, they were just found wanting in defence. No talk, a little bit tired at the same time. This will tell a story. There's the line. He gets it before. I think that is play on. He steps inside Muir. He's done a very good job today, Lenny Beckett. Gets down nice and low. There was no chance whatsoever that King was going to get the tackle.
That's okay.
Oh, I think that's okay. It'll be hard done by if that's pulled up. He's been playing good, hasn't he, Lenny Beckett? Jeff Tuvey doesn't look in a good state here.
Green, it's a try. They've hit the 50. 52 points to 20. And that is their 10th try. Kick to come. Final act now as the Eagles on their heads. The touch judges wave it away. Andrew Johns is all smiles. He's had a great day out there today. He was smiling at the start, smiling throughout, and still smiling. Full time at Marathon Stadium, the Newcastle Knights have beaten the Northern Eagles by 52 points to 20. The fans are happy. Let's go sideline now for some reaction, and here's Russell Fairfax.
Andrew Johns, 10 tries for the Newcastle Knights. You got to rank this as one of the better performances over the last few weeks.
It was. They beat us in the first round, so in a way I suppose we had to owe them something, but it was a good effort considering the players out, and it's pretty pleasing to score 52 points.
Yeah, the backs really set the world on fire today, especially McDougall.
Oh, he's unstoppable, mate. He Warren gave him 4 days off, and he went to win Sundays for 4 days, so must be something in the sun up there.
Talking about must be something happening for the front rows as well. Butterfield and O'Brien both crashed over for big tries.
Yeah, we'll probably never hear the end of it tonight. But yeah, that's where it's all won up front there, and I thought the boys really got over him up front there, played the ball a lot quicker, and that enables our outside backs to show the speed and skill they got.
10 tries. You didn't quite have the kicking boot on today, though.
Oh, I haven't had it on all year, so I have to do a bit of practice, but I have to teach the boys to put them under the post.
How's he coming back?
Mate, I think this week, so yeah, he'll slot straight back in 5'8" there, and yeah, hopefully he'll have a big game.
You had one today. Thanks for talking to us.
Mate, cheers.
72 points scored here at Marathon today, 52 of them coming from the Newcastle Knights. McDougall got 2, Tahu 2, Butterfield, Rahahi, Pete and O'Brien, Hughes and Beckett, the other try scorers. Andrew Johns, 6 from 10 conversions. For the Northern Eagles, Roy Muir in the first half, Ruan Reeves in the second half, Taylor 2 from 3. So 52-20. Gary, for your efforts today. Thank you also to Russell Fairfax. And thank you to the Newcastle Knights because they turned on some great running rugby league today, winning by 52 points to 20. Thank you for your company. I'm Greg Clark, and on behalf of all the team here, it is now farewell from Newcastle.